Hey everybody, welcome to today's Electric Cafe video. Today's Electric Cafe video is about Alan Parsons Project. And my just want to go over my history with them. A lot of these videos that I'm doing reviewing bands is kind of for, I mean, it is kind of a selfish reason, but I feel like maybe some of the people that might watch this video might not get that much out of these videos that I'm doing. Hopefully you are, but you know, for me being a music dork like I am, I don't mind listening to people talk about bands that I like and hear their experiences with them and you know what they think about certain albums and songs and things like that, and just some reviews. I mean, everybody pretty much likes listening to people's reviews on anything artistic, especially music. But a lot of these videos are kind of doing for selfish reasons, just to kind of get better at doing presentation and doing these videos and not saying a thousand times, which I do, and I apologize. And I'm not the best speaker, because listening is my best sense, and I've always been a listener. That goes with listening to music. I'm not a huge vocal person. If somebody said yell, I'd really have to be passionate to yell. I don't get angry a lot, and when I do, it's look out. So, I just I'm doing these videos to just kind of get better at doing these videos, but also kind of have like a baseline foundation of music that I like, so I can kind of go forward on that and talk about the music I've been listening to in maybe the last 20 years. A lot of these bands are stuff that I've listened to in my early 80s through the 90s for the most part, maybe a little bit in the 2000s, but most of these are going to be in the 80s and 90s. So yeah, just kind of wanted to kind of recap my history with them and kind of do like an overview on the albums, and then there might be some time where I pick out certain albums and just talk specifically about that album, and then if somebody has, oh, have you checked out that album, and then I can put, hey, well, check out this link if you want to hear me talk about Depeche Mode as a since I'm wearing their shirt, as a full, just show my discography or my records and stuff like that. I do like to talk about, I don't want to be, hopefully I'm not being like, just sitting here showing my records and feeling like I'm showing off or something. I do have a lot of records, but it's taken me 40 years to accrue all these records. This is just my CD room in here, and what you're seeing back there is probably a fourth of my CDs. It's just, I should take you, I should maybe do a tour of my place sometime and show you, but it's not about like showing off and stuff like that. It's just sharing knowledge and sharing my experiences, and I do like to give my opinion about music and stuff like that, and certain things involved in music. But again, just kind of doing these videos to kind of have that base foundation and kind of grow from there. And there's some other ideas I have for this channel, and hopefully you'll be along for the journey. All right, so Alan Parsons there. For those that don't know Alan Parsons Project, Alan Parsons, probably most well known for helping to record Pink Floyd with Dark Side of the Moon, and I want to say he was on their next album as well. And they were very talented musicians in their own right. So shortly after, their first album, I, Robot, came out 1976, 1977, somewhere around there. And, it was well received. I don't think any of their albums have super gone over platinum or anything like that. They've had a few hits and, some B-sides and stuff like that. Here's Alan Parsons right here, back when he had a nice little doggy hair, kind of. Would that be a side mullet? Or is that just called a UK haircut? It's kind of like a Ringo Starr after like 2 months. But very talented musician. I'm just joking around. But this is a good album. It's got iRobot in here. Was a popular one off this. I Would Want to Be Like You, another one. Those are the two on here that I feel like are the singles, if I remember correctly. Oh, Day After, A Show Must Go On. That was a good one. Total Eclipse. I like that one, and I also like Breakdown. There's times when Alan Parsons they can hit some nice moments. They hit a lot of nice moments. They do hit some moments where it's maybe a little too prog rock for some people. Maybe not as catchy, although I feel like they're pretty catchy. Or maybe almost to a point when after they had their big hit with Eye in the Sky. Their albums after were probably trying a little too hard. But in these days, these are kind of like I don't know, kind of like a prog rock mixed with the pop. It's hard to compare Alan Parsons Project to anything else. It's kind of almost like if you mixed old Genesis with new Genesis, kind of mixed them together. Although there's really nothing avant-garde here with like the performance or anything like that. But I'm just meaning of the music. I mean, there's a little theatrical going on here. There's a little moody music. There's a little bit of rock in here. It's they're kind of all over the place, really. Yeah, that's their debut album. I haven't got around to getting the next three albums. I don't have Pyramid, Eve, or a Friendly Card. Unfortunately, I haven't got around to getting that yet. Here's Eye in the Sky, which is their biggest album in '82. And of course, they had Eye in the Sky, their biggest hit. Of course, it has Sirius, which everybody knows is the theme song for the Chicago Bulls coming out. Michael Jordan in the '90s when they were going through their 6 NBA championships. In the '90s, they used Sirius as their theme song to come out, which was super cool. I think in those days I didn't know it was Alan Parsons Project. I mean, a lot of people probably heard it and didn't know it was Alan Parsons Project, but whoever did that was what amazing. They should do a story on whoever chose that song for the Chicago Bulls to come out. I feel like it had to have been somebody in the PR department or something like that. I can't imagine it was somebody from the Bulls, let alone somebody in a coach or something like that. But that kind of changed things. I mean, they should almost do like a movie on that. I wouldn't say like a movie, maybe a documentary, because I mean, who's coming out to a theme song for a sports team? Now a lot of people do it. They all come out. When you go to a baseball game, almost every player comes out to bat to their own song now. But back then, Alan Parsons Project was the only one that did that. Serious. I think that's super cool. Eye in the Sky was a really good song. Gemini. Psychobabble. Not a good song. Not a good song. Step by Step I really like. Boy, I cannot read that writing. Something you're going to get your fingers burned. I really like Step by Step. That's a good one. There's a little bit of cheesiness on here. When they got the one-hit wonder with Eye in the Sky, well, they feel like a one-hit wonder. But, I mean, when you look back at their discography, they had 10 really strong albums, if not more. Especially, going into the '90s, they kind of reinvented themselves and came out with some good stuff then as well. But they were trying to make a little bit, had to make, probably not forced to, but a lot of pressure to make a hit. Really cool pictures designs on the album, on the back there. Very cool. Eye in the Sky. Good album. Good album. These might not be in order, these next few. This is Vulture Culture. Let's Talk About It. Separate Lives. Sooner or Later. Vulture Culture. Same Old Sun. Some good ones on here. Probably my least favorite of the ones that I have. This one. I do like their artwork though. They're all very different. Color wise. Some of the fonts pretty much kind of stayed the same. I mean, a lot. That kind of font stayed the same, but I will give it to them. They do some interesting covers. If I did pull this one from my wall, and you can kind of see the robot there sort of has a face. But I really like the the designs, obviously, with the kind of the escalators and stairs like that. Just kind of a cool design. Of course, he's a cool design too, that hairdo. Oh, sorry, put that up here. This is my placeholder for who I'm talking about. I really like this cover too. It's probably my favorite cover of theirs. This is Ammonia Avenue. Very cool cover. I really like the cover. The back here is a little interesting. It looks like they got their heads in the dirt. Are they growing? Are they growing thoughts? Are they thinking about? Are they trying to get in touch with nature? They have like some kind of science lab, obviously, but I would say it's like a nursery or anything. But what's this? Are they? Is that a? It looks like some kind of like. Well, obviously it's some kind of test equipment because it's got the where you look into it there. So obviously they're testing something, but what are they testing? Their brain waves in the sand? I don't know. Really no strong song from here, for the most part, as far as like a single or anything like that. I do like Prime Time and Let Me Go Home. Since the Last Goodbye. Dancing High Wire, Don't Answer Me. Good album, not great. With the Alan Parsons Project, you're gonna like some stuff, and you're not gonna like some stuff. You won't hate anything. It's just, there's kind of times when I listen to Alan Parsons Project, and there's like, it's so close to being a great song, so close, but it just doesn't hit that, or the chorus becomes a little too cheesy, or those that really know Alan Parsons Project, maybe you can explain to me what you think about how close they are on some of their songs of writing a great song, and I'll kind of touch on that when I go over their greatest hits, because that one has a little bit more of the songs that did work. This one is very disliked by Alan Parsons Project people, but I really like it. I like this one better than, strangely enough, besides Eye in the Sky, I probably like more songs on here than any other. And there's some ones on here that are, I know there's one that's like super cheesy, but like La Sagra Familia, it's whatever, Closer to Heaven. But the B-side on here, Standing on Higher Ground, I really like it. I really like it. Inside Looking Out, Money Talks, Closer to Heaven, and Too Late. I really like some of these songs on here. I feel like this is maybe, even though this is like 2 albums after Eye in the Sky, I feel like probably the pressure had subsided and they were just like, okay, well let's just write some songs here. And they wrote a little bit longer songs. There's an 8-minute on here. There's only 7 songs on here. Excuse me. But I feel like, and that may go with Eric Wolfson, if I remember correctly, the producer on this one. I think he got some slack on this one because, again, this is not a highly regarded album in Alan Parsons Project discography at all. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, when I go on Discog, it's been a while, but I remember seeing the ratings, so like a 3.3 out of 5. If you're at a 3.3 out of 5, I mean, it's not like hip hop fans are going out and, or heavy metal fans are going and rating this Alan Parsons Project. Probably not. So it's probably fans of the band. So if the fans of the band are giving it a 3.3, this album is not highly regarded. I mean, usually you don't see anything close to a 3 from a band. At least a 3.7, 3.8. You know what I mean? Once it goes into the 4s, I would say when you're looking at Discogs, it's a very good album if it's above 4. If it has a few thousand, of at least 1,000 reviews, or actually, I take that back because a lot of the house records and stuff I listen to doesn't. If it has over 100 views, 100 ratings. But yeah, I really like this album. In fact, I go back to some of these songs more so on this album than probably any other. This is a double album that I bought. This is kind of the greatest hits. It's not the one that I was going to talk about, but I'll talk about that one on the CD that I have. But this has a really good compilation. I think it's a double compilation. Oh, I thought it was double. Maybe I always think this one's double because it's a gatefold. Strange artwork. I mean, it's cool, but it doesn't really say much. See what I mean? Was it just like, clouds in a little hill on top of a hill, a little mound on top of a hill, But that's kind of the early graphics for the time, I do appreciate the early graphics. I mean, I'm not saying this isn't cool, but I'm saying, what does it say for a cover? Like, what is that supposed to be? Obviously, it's a cloud, but is it anything more than a cloud? What's the meaning? I have no idea. This is a strange cover, isn't it? I never really looked at it like that, but... And then you kind of look at the back. Oh, excuse me. Oh. And the back is, I don't know. The three little things here. They're like ingrown hairs. I don't know. You got me. Really strong album though. Collects a lot of good songs, and I'll touch on them there because some of them are on here as well. But this is, I feel like I had to get one strong compilation from Alan Parsons Project, and then I got one on CD. Before I show you that one, well, actually, it doesn't really matter. But this is the newest thing I've gotten from them, and this is a really good album. This might be they're really, I think at this time this is probably like 94. They obviously kind of I don't know, maybe followed what Pink Floyd was doing when Pink Floyd regrouped in '87 and kind of came back and had an album in the '90s, and maybe they sort of took a little bit of Pink Floyd and kind of took a little bit of Alan Parsons Project and decided not to make really short songs, but kind of expand upon them and make them a little bit more. Maybe kind of go a little bit more towards progressive rock a little bit more. But the song "Turn It Up" is really good, and "Mr. Time" is really good too. This is a really strong album. I think is it called Time? Try Anything Once. Try Anything Once. Try Anything Once. This is a really good album. If you don't know Alan Parsons Project, or you just know his 80s stuff, and then you feel like you want to get into a little bit deeper, try Anything Once. I think you might like it. It's good, especially, I'm sure Pink Floyd fans know about Alan Parsons Project. I'll be the first one to tell you that Pink Floyd is overrated. That's what I think about Pink Floyd. I think they're overrated. I don't really like Pink Floyd that much at all. I don't like Dave Gilmour's voice, or what's the other guy's name? Blank out his name. I don't like his voice. God, why can't I think of his name? David Gilmour might be a good guitar player. They might have done some kind of spacey, kind of cool stuff, but they aren't psychedelic to me. I could go on forever and tell you about how they don't do nothing for me. They don't do nothing for me. I like The Wall. I like the song The Wall. Money's, they got a few good songs. But I'm not all wowed about their production of their albums and wowed about their sort of psychedelic thing, because they aren't really psychedelic for me. Like, if you guys really like Pink Floyd, go listen to Gong. Go listen to go listen to Hawkwind. Go listen to Gong. Go listen to, did I already say Gong? Go listen to Can. Go listen to Cluster. That's avant-garde. There's a lot of prog rock that I like. Um, Pink Floyd, I kind of more like classic rock to me. I don't really think they're psychedelic. I think they're kind of meh, meh. Sorry, Brant. I know that will upset a lot of people that like Pink Floyd, but I do respect Pink Floyd in some ways. I just think they're overrated. Um, especially when everybody talks about how they're like, oh wow, they're so great. You just saw them in concert. Yeah, yeah. This is a really good album though. Moving on. So talking about their greatest hits. Um, this has, I talked a little bit about it earlier when they're so close to making a really good song. And, here's a side one here is Eye in the Sky, Psychobabble, Old Wine, Prime Time, Don't Answer Me, You Don't Believe. Actually, let me go to the first CD. First CD is what I'm talking about, the early stuff. So, The Raven, iRobot, I want to be like you. I wouldn't want to be like you. I can't read. Breakdown, Don't Let It Snow, Voyager, What Goes Up. What Goes Up is a good example. You feel like it could be a good song, but seeing like it kind of doesn't really like hit you. It's just kind of like it's recorded well. You could tell there's like some it could be a hit, but it just doesn't come through. It's just like the Eagle Will Fly Again. I really like Eagle Will Fly. There's a couple like sort of ballads that they have I really like. Can't Take It With You. Damned If I Do, Damned If I Don't. Like that one was like, eh. Lucifer, I Could Change Your Mind. The Turn of a Friendly Card is one that's really close to being a really good song. Same thing with Games People Play and Time. There's just so many songs that are just so close to being like a really great song, but it just doesn't really it just doesn't get there. It doesn't get there. A Turn of a Friendly Card. Yeah, it's just like Games People Play. It's just like Games People Play is a little bit better than a couple of those, but it just doesn't really they're so close to being really good songs, but they're just like not theirs. But they're good. I mean, they're good. I'm being very picky. On the second here is Turn It Up is really good. Stereotomy, I like that song. I really like Raven, though. I like The Raven. But yeah, that one song I really, really like. The Eagle Will Fly Again. I like that song. I really like that song. But yeah, Alan Parsons Project, the greatest hits, double CD. This is good. This is the first one I got from them, probably probably sometime in of course I knew Eye in the Sky from when I was a kid, but I never really bought anything until I got this one, probably in 2002. Then I decided to get some of these records in the secondhand store, probably in those years. But yeah, it's so I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of Alan Parsons Project, but I like them enough to check out most of their discography, but there's still some stuff I don't know. So if you want to hit me to an album that I didn't show, or if you think I should get Pyramid, Eve, or what's the other one I don't have? Pyramid, Eve, and Turn of a Friendly Card. Like, I don't have those 3 albums. Again, I have some of their songs on the greatest hits, but the reason why I haven't got those is I'm like, well, I don't really super love anything that's from here, from the greatest hits on those 2. I'm not sure if I should buy the album, but if I saw one for a good price for like $5 or $10, I'd probably pick it up. I do really like their artwork too. I like to put them on my wall and stuff like that. They look really cool, and I really like his voice. I think his voice is really underrated. He's very sensitive and soft, and has a really nice, very pleasant voice to your ear, and they're a good. I don't know if I would call them really like soft rock. You know, they're kind of like a mix of soft rock and prog rock. They don't necessarily go on into the. I mean, there are songs that they have that are instrumentals, like obviously Serious, and there's generally an instrumental on almost every album that's kind of like a long instrumental or a short instrumental. So they do have that prog rock feel because there are instrumentals on there, and that's definitely a trait of experimentalism in rock music in the early to mid '70s. But you know, I wouldn't consider them really prog rock though, or soft rock. It's just, you know, I guess they're rock, but you know, it just seems to maybe they are soft rock if you think they're rock, and they're just like they're not really rocking too much, are they? So yeah, that's Alan Parsons Project. So I'd be curious to hear if you want to recommend me any album that I didn't post, or again, should I get Eve, A Turn of a Friendly Card, or Pyramid? So what's your top 3 Alan Parsons Project albums, and what's your top 5 Alan Parsons Project songs? If you're a fan, feel free to put that in the comments below. All right, have a good day.